my name's Natalie Prass, and this is my story for Nashville Time Machine. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's where I grew up, and I guess I grew up in a house where my parents just kind of let us do whatever. They didn't really sign us up for anything, and whatever we got interested in, they were like, yeah, okay, whatever. One thing that I got into in middle school was live action role playing, which is where you dress up in costumes. And basically what it is, you dress up in costumes, you have foam weapons, and you have like a story plot, but there's no ending. So every summer I would go away all summer, like up north to these like LARPing camps, camp out in a tent, and just like be this character for like days or whatever. My favorite game was a werewolf vampire game. And I got to be a werewolf. And there's like 30 kids in camp, and there's only 6 werewolves, and they chose me to be a werewolf. And I was like pumped, like, yes, I am the queen of LARPing. And so I made my costume. I made these big foam claws and like big fur costume and this mask, and it was a night game. And I just remember like all the werewolves had our like assigned stations of where we had to be. So I was in like the middle of the woods, but there's like an open sky, so I could see like the beautiful Massachusetts, like clear sky, stars everywhere. Never seen stars like that in Virginia Beach. And I was like in my werewolf costume, like growling to myself and just like thinking like, I need to remember this moment right now. This is the coolest, best moment of my life, and I need to remember this. Anyway, it was a lot of fun when I was a kid, and I feel like that really helped me like just get really comfortable with like being a creative person, and just like totally just being comfortable with going with things on the fly and whatever. So it was, even though as dorky as it is, and I thought it was really good for me. I did go to like a tiny little private school, and I think that's what allowed me to really like come into my own character, like be comfortable with myself and my whatever. Then I got accepted to like this art school, and so I had to go to public school, and which was awesome. That's when I had my first band. Like I started my first band in middle school, and started to get more into the music scene in Virginia Beach. And the drummer of like the cool band, you know, we started like, he was my first boyfriend, but I was still into LARPing, and I had this big moment where my boyfriend was 15, and he dropped me off at a camp, at a game meet, and I was in full Banshee gear. I was in a Victorian white gown, and my face was completely painted red. And he dropped me off in his truck, and I'm waving at him goodbye. And like all of my LARPing crew was behind me, and they're, you know, like practicing, like warming up, and I'm like, bye. And I'm just thinking, like, looking at myself, like in between these two worlds, like, okay, maybe it's time to stop. I don't know if this is cool anymore. So that was the last time. That was my last game. After that, I was so embarrassed that I was ever into that. I was so embarrassed I was into LARP. I never talked about it. I was like, no. I didn't talk about it until probably I got into college. To college, so I was like, no one needs to know about that. But honestly, like for a kid, like when, you know, being like 13, 14, and being like, you know, away from home and like in the woods, dressed up as a werewolf, like ready to like beat some kids up, like that's pretty awesome. And I still think like, yeah, it's pretty cool.